Didiv agus Feturov. Hello and welcome to another episode of Conversation with the Druid. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at some of the Irish lore, and then discussing stuff. So one of the things I'd like to talk about is that for next week's episode, I'm going to be presenting my thoughts on the Colloquy of Two Sages, which is part of my work as a folklock, Nadori Delta folklock. And in case you're wondering what that means, it means student druid of the folklock grade, which is one of the 7 grades of the Philodect. And I think it's appropriate for those who are droidect, druids, that we hold to, especially Reconstructionists, that we hold to the 7 grades like folklock, Clee, Anru, Olive, etc. And so next week's episode is going to consist of my thoughts and feelings regarding the Colloquy of Two Sages, why they present it the way they do, and how I interpret their meanings. Also going to be looking into some of the Dinshankas, or I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but I apologize for slaughtering it. Either way, so these are upcoming topics, and the first piece of lore I would like to relate to you is the story of the eagle and the wren. Now, in the before times of our ancestors of the before times, the birds decided to elect a king of all birds. And to do that, whoever won the race to the sun, they all agreed to race towards the sun. And whoever got the closest to the sun would be crowned king of the birds. Now, eagle was the swiftest and outflew most of the other birds, but little wren was the wisest. And unbeknownst to eagle, little wren had hidden amongst the eagle's feathers. And when the eagle could fly no higher, the little wren started taking off and flying closer to the sun, which infuriated eagle. But when wren flew as high as he could fly, and then got back within range of the eagle, eagle came and, out of fury, envy, and spite, killed and ate wren. However, since that time, wren has been declared the king of the birds. Some of the other things that we've got going on, Jess Murchison is now Archdruid of Tribe of the Oak, or Ardri Olive, and I am Ardri Ansruth, essentially second in command. And I have a little money saved up, not quite enough, but I anticipate probably by later September, maybe probably sometime in October, I'm going to start the Sliandry course with the Celtic Druid Temple, and have enough money saved up that I'll be able to afford 1 or 2 courses with the Irish Pagan School. Looking to do their advanced Ogham as well as their advanced guided meditation series. I've been doing guided meditations a lot, and some of them I do at sunrise and sunset. Some of them I do at night when I'm going to sleep to help aid me in better sleep patterns. I won't go in to discuss what happens because those are private. But needless to say, depending on the circumstances and what needs to get done, sometimes I find the guided meditations more tiring than day-to-day living. Possibly because I no longer have the well, let's put it like this. I didn't have a good support structure for doing guided meditations and stuff like that back when I was first starting out on the path of being a druid. And it didn't help setting myself up as a 24/7 walking ritual, which no doubt in part contributed to my rapid decline mentally because of overstress from being spiritually awakened like that. But be that as it may, I tried to do at least 6 guided meditations a week. One in the morning, one in the evening one in the morning at sunrise, one in the evening at sunset, and then, depending on circumstances, a couple at night, just as I'm going to drift off to sleep. Just to help aid the medications. I am trying to get a hold of Melangith Green to interview her and record that chat for posting on my YouTube channel. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below for us. Also, Jazz Smusson, I plan on interviewing too. And so these are future plans. And then the reason why I'm starting, even though I've been acknowledged at the level of Anruth, the reason why I'm starting at Falkluck is because we're working on unveiling a new training regimen based on the 7 grades of Philodect and incorporating them into Droidect for Droidect and the Delta Droidect. And so I get to be the guinea pig for it. And I will be posting my comments and thoughts on my journey through the coursework. Jazz is currently taking my input for the revised constitution for Tribe of the Oak, and blending it with what he had drafted, and going to propose it to the council for final, and then submit the whole to the council to see what they feel about the whole thing. And finally, so we're going to see what happens. And I will let you know the results of that when it comes time. So I've been participating in, or trying to participate in, phone banks for the Harris Waltz ticket. And my plan is after the election, depending on how the election turns out, running my congressional representatives and the president to indicate that or maybe I'll do it beforehand just to say, hey, we support you. And so, yeah. But either way, things need to be refined and worked on for Social Security Administration and other social safety net programs. I was fortunate because my medical assistance for workers with disability and my SNAP benefits were renewed, which is good because I am literally broke right now. Trying to help a bunch of people, my roommate included, and doesn't leave enough left over for me, and I need to renew my bus passes. So I have to go to the bank for that. And yeah, so these are all fun things that I get to deal with in my day-to-day life, as if just being a druid was stressful enough. And we have the meeting of the 9th PA Reserves coming up on the 14th of the month. Excellent. And that promises to be interesting. We'll have to see what kind of participation we get and whether or not we have a full quorum. So I'm going to, let's see. So there's one more thing that I would like to discuss. And that is, there is a passage in the Ara Capnanekes, the Scholar's Primer, that I would like to read to you. And this is just stuff that's been confusing to me, and if any of my viewership out there has any insights, please feel free to post in the comments. Interloping syllable entire, theft of a long, it is true. Theft of a heart, it is not wrong. Change of initial for its visitation. Apocope of initial, doubling of initial in front. Mod speech with its modes. It is a 12th deer countenance, prefix of gender for reckoning it. The shields of defense throughout the world are hyperbole and retarding. Ancient poems have found out those two metatheses and internal division. Its full is not full without foundation, its reduplication, its diminutive. A memory teach noble old bard, its exaltation, its humiliation. I reckon man throwing with venom, and change of final, apocope of final, it is troublesome, doubling of a final of a good word. Those are the 12 shields, the learned are in the habit of observing them, and the 12 countenances which have been granted, the 24 divisions. The poets that do not know this, no back to essay poetry is on them. How can they conceal their wrongs? How can they ward off errors? Is it one countenance or one lofty shield which saves from each blemish full rough, or the twain that are thrown around every blemish? Not thence from considering will harm arise. Whoever he be that sings with his understanding through his intellect, rough and dangerous, it is difficult and it is troublesome to take account of the trifocal. Trifocal, the three words, and knowledge of its secret is very hard. 36 up to this point are found through its species of Gaelic. 12 errors of them. It is no rhyme without their common metrics. No friends to me, O men, are they, who separate rewards from praise. A wrong of them I tell at the outset. I am skilled respecting it. It is not one wrong, but it is three wrongs from which every noble lay is not nobly fair. Of wrong of body, everyone has heard. In my verses it will not be very unusual, besides every difficulty therefrom, a wrong rhyme, a wrong of sense. Wrong of body is not a wrong without doubt. It is 10 injuries that it injures, works. They levy a debt of praise outside, 2 purple shields over against it. The wrong of rhyme fitting are 2 countenances against a clear defect, and 2 shields behind them. Not mean is their full protection. 2 shields, 2 countenances of the cheek is that which protects a wrong in meaning. A text of sense without sin is a species of protection. 2 kinds which defend too many rhymes, so that the work be not clearly blundering. 3 shields, 3 countenances without noise defend the excessive overlong. 5 shields, 3 countenances without anguish is that which defends against overshort. 1 countenance that wards off from you want of emphasis, and 1 countenance that wards off overemphasis. 1 countenance for defense, lest it cost us a heifer, which defends an absent to present. A shield also and a pure countenance defend a singular for a plural. 9 shields of defense with difficulty defend all false rhyme, though he does not speak with his good taste, seeing that 1 countenance defends it. The 3 countenances, cheek by cheek, well do they defend false alliteration. And 2 shields, ye do not think it deceitful, defend hideous false alliteration. False gender is not a reckless use, which 1 guarding countenance defends. 2 shields defend error, lest it be too bare and too grey. Error, common harmonious name, has clung to every complete blunder. The error is not a name without ambiguity, though it is great blemish to which it is peculiar. Error, if it be a name for every blemish, why shall it cleave to a single blemish, since it is not one blemish without fault that is naked sight and trifocal. And that is an excerpt, page 153 through 157 of George Calder's the translation of the Arakepna Netcase, the Scholar's Primer. If you have any suggestions, hints, or comments regarding the same, feel free to post them in the comments below. If you just liked what you heard, also just post that in the comments below. And I think it's time that we end with the guided meditation. So let's close our eyes. Breathe normally, or feel free to breathe however you wish. As you breathe, feel yourself going inwards. Start at your cauldron of warming. And as you breathe, feel your energy from your cauldron of warming sink down into the earth beneath you, the walls and floor of your building, if you're inside, dissolving. If you're outside, feel the ground beneath you and your roots from the cauldron of warming entering the ground beneath you and going down into the groundwater on the nearest stream or water table next to you. For me, it's Thompson Run. As you breathe, feel the energy from that river going down into the river, from the river into the sea, and from the sea into the ocean. And then feel the energy from the ocean coming back up the river, up into your stream, and into your roots, and up into your cauldron of motion, filling it up, lifting your trunk into your cauldron of motion. And as your trunk in the cauldron of motion starts to overflow, fill the expanse of the sea around you. The moon overhead adjusting the tides with the pull of the sun. And the new moon turning into the Druid moon. This day. As you breathe, feel that energy from the cauldron of motion. Lift your trunk higher into your head to the core surface. Cauldron of wisdom. Well, Seges, well of Conla. Within the sacred grove of 9 hazelnuts. And just take a moment to breathe in and out. And fill your cauldrons in harmony with each other. Now picture yourself entering into a grove with others beside you. Slowly reach out your hands and picture yourself touching the hands of the people beside you, to your left and to your right. Within the sacred grove, a fire in front of us. And feel a color and association of feeling with where you stand in the circle. As you breathe, feel the energies around you. Now, drop your hands to your side and lift them up and place them against your heart. Feel the rhythm of your heart sound like a drum within your chest. Hear a drum externally as you breathe. And as you come back to yourself, you feel the energy from your core surface go into your cauldron of motion, and then into your cauldron of warming. Lift up your roots from the river and stream below. And back into yourself. Gradually open your eyes. Walk with wisdom from this hallowed place. Walk none in sorrow, our root shall e'er embrace. May strength be your brother, and honor be your friend, and luck be your lover, until we meet again. Walk with wisdom from this hallowed place. Walk none in sorrow, our root shall e'er embrace. May strength be your brother, and honor be your friend, and luck be your lover, until we meet again.